सीज़न 3 के एपिसोड 99 में हम देखेंगे कि किस तरह बेनाम आगील के रूप में भारद्वाज फैमिली के आगे आ जाती है। और क्योंकि काशवी को पता है कि आगील बहुत बुरी है, तो वो आगील को छुरे के ज़ोर पर रखती है और पूरी भारद्वाज फैमिली बेनाम को आगील समझकर मारना शुरू हो जाती है। और दूसरी तरफ हम देखते हैं कि शाश्वान लोक में उत्तान आगील जो कि बेनाम के रूप में है और शशमाग जो कि नहमाग के रूप में है, उसे कहते हैं कि वो शाश्वान लोक थोड़ी देर के लिए छोड़ के जा रहा है और अपनी जगह शाश्वान लोक का राजा बाल वीर को बना के जा रहा है, ताकि बाल वीर सब कुछ देख सके और पूरे शाश्वान लोक की जिम्मेदारी उठा सके जो कि उत्तान की है। और हम देखेंगे कि किस तरह बाल वीर को ये बात नहीं पता चलेगी कि बेनाम की बॉडी में आगील है जब तक कि वो उसे कोई इशारा या सिग्नल ना दे दे। और हम देखेंगे कि किस तरह बेनाम जो कि आगील की बॉडी में है वो बालवीर को किसी ना किसी तरीके से ये बता देगी कि बेनाम असल में आगील है और आगील बेनाम है, और किस तरह आगील ने बालवीर को धोखे से भस्म को आज़ाद करवाया ताकि वो बालवीर को मार सके। और हम देखेंगे कि किस तरह बालवीर पहले तो ये बात नहीं समझेगा और ना ही इस बात पर भरोसा करेगा, लेकिन फिर बेनाम बालवीर को एक ऐसी बात बताएगी जो कि सिर्फ बालवीर और बेनाम को पता है और किसी को नहीं। और वो बात सुनते साथ ही बालवीर बेनाम पर भरोसा करने लग पड़ेगा जो कि आगील के रूप में होगी। और फिर दोनों बेनाम और बालवीर मिलकर आगील के साथ एक खेल खेलेंगे जो कि उसी पर आजमाया जाएगा ताकि वो आगील को उसी की खेल में हरा सकें। अगर आप सबसे पहले सीज़न 3 के एपिसोड्स देखना चाहते हैं तो मैजिक वर्ल्ड को सब्सक्राइब कर दें और इस वीडियो को लाइक कर दें ताकि अगले सीज़न 3 के फुल एपिसोड्स आपके पास सबसे जल्दी आएँ। तो इस एपिसोड को शुरू करते हैं। Today's episode is going to be a roller coaster of so many scenes and plots that are going on and about in Baal Veer season 3, and more particularly in episode 99. Of course, the episode started in, well, the northern area where Benam lives, and Uttan just provided her with a protection shield, or this definitely is you can say some sort of force field that would protect Benam from all invaders or intruders who will try to harm her, mostly and in particularly talking about, well, people of Himpashlok. So they tested that anyone who will go inside or who will cross or trespass this line will be turned to ashes, and Uttan made a display on how that will work, and that was just ultimately gone into just reduced to ashes. And this just showed us that this protection is actually very powerful. So we see that Benam is in danger according to Uttan, and for some reason Uttan did not ask her to just like not come out of here. And of course some can say that this can also be debated, that if Benam's life was in danger inside the circles, she could just walk out. So Agil and Ubad are planning on how to do or how to just take Benam out of there, and then Agil says that they don't have to go in there, they just have to layer out Benam so that they can knock her out and make her unconscious, and then they will be able to switch Agil's body with Benam. Or we can say it won't be the bodies that will be switched, it will be the soul and the person inside that body. So back on Earth, we see the former plot of Baal Veer stopping a bus, which is also a way for Agil to use Baal Veer's own magical prints to make sure that she gets that power or that magic that is specifically designed for Baal Veer in order to exchange herself with Benam. And of course it will work because it must. So we see that the pink thing that we thought was just no one was actually Toba Toba, but also it wasn't Toba Toba at all. So they were just making it, they was just trying to make us believe that there was no one, and turns out that it was Toba Toba in disguise who was actually driving the bus, and he was just driving it very reckless, so Baal Veer doesn't question that, and Toba Toba uses his sympathy card so that Baal Veer believes the fact that they want to just, you can say, whatever reason would make sure that Toba Toba isn't very discriminated. But of course Baal Veer is not like that, and Baal Veer understands that a short person is just as important as a normal height person, and we see that it was just a misunderstanding, that they thought that the bus was being driven by someone else, but it was initially driven by no one in the show itself at the very least, because we definitely saw the bus driver hop out of the bus and he just walked away while the bus was in the middle of the road, so that didn't make any sense. So back in the northern area where it is freezing, of course it is freezing, and Agil is now confronting Benam and is asking to come out of her, radius, and she says that she is not here to harm Baal Veer. She is just here to make Baal Veer desperate, and this is just a trap to lure out Benam so that they can knock her out and take her to Himbashlok, where they can switch her body with Agil's. So this dialogue is just here so that they can gaslight and really just emotionally blackmail Benam into coming out of her protection radius. And Benam is, at first, she is very smart and she knows that there is nothing that can kill Baal Veer. She also mentions that Mahajadu is also gone, so that is of no use. And we see that Agil confirms that she isn't there to kill Baal Veer, she is just here to make Baal Veer hopeless, and that is what they are going to do. So apparently Agil wants to paralyze Baal Veer in this scenario, and she just brought out this very cool looking, this is a very good prop, and they did pay a lot of attention to it. And of course this is the budget, this is the, you can say, these are the things where the budget is wasted, and of course this is something that they have always done ever since Baal Veer returns. So the plan was to make a voice of Baal Veer, and Ubad would do that, and of course Benam can't see it because Ubad is knowingly hiding behind this rock, which is acting as a blind spot for Benam. So they are just making Benam believe that it is Baal Veer who has come in front of Agil, and for some reason Baal Veer doesn't know that there is this very giant bow that Agil is holding. So Benam is also very unaware of that fact as well, and Benam asks Baal Veer to just go away and not look at Agil, which is very understandable. And Agil is now thinking that she has caught the fish in her trap, and now she will lure out Benam, and she does. So the most important instruction by Uttan that was given to Benam is not as important as her son Baal Veer, which is very understandable. So we see that Agil starts to aim at said Baal Veer, and Benam can't have any of that because she is his mother after all. And Baal Veer just says, or you can say Ubad just says, that he can handle Agil, but Baal Veer doesn't know that this is just no one. And we can see that they are pretending that Baal Veer is hurt, and we see that, well, Agil is doing it again, so that is asking for Benam's help. And of course, a mother's love for her children is you can say measured, and it can't be measured at all. So we see that just as Benam comes out of her tent, Agil shoots her with her bow, and this is a very bad looking arrow. And for some reason, Agil also has Agil just wanted Ubad to wear a mask for some reason, which is like unbelievable. Why is he even wearing a mask when his entire identity can be disclosed? So that was just unbelievable. And so we see that Agil just shot Benam unconscious, because that wasn't a fatal bow and arrow. It was just to knock out Benam so that they can take her to Himbashlok, just as we said. So we see back on Earth, Tawba Tawba just reveals that it actually wasn't some driver, and it was actually Tawba Tawba, and they all did this so that Tawba Tawba can have his you can say mere costume or prime costume. So when Baal Veer threw his magic at Tawba Tawba, the magic flew somewhere, and then Sheshmak captured it in his jar, which is just unbelievable. But we just have to roll with it and pretend that we are enjoying what we are seeing in this show. And Baal Veer reassures that the threat has been eliminated and they can go to their homes by themselves. And we see that everyone just walks away instead of going with the bus. So that did not make any sense. They are here to use the bus. So back in the freezing area where this hut is placed, Benam is unconscious, as she should be, because she was shot with this you can say tranquilizer bow of something, and it was probably covered or it was tainted with an unconscious potion. So Ubad has this very weird looking mask on, which will for some reason hide his identity, even though the mark on him can be seen clearly. And of course, this is just a way for them to excuse their laziness and their, you can say, incompetence in writing. And for some reason, Benam doesn't know that Ubad is there, so we have no idea why he is wearing this. And of course, they are very confident that Benam is so knocked out that she can't just see Sheshmag or Nehmag and Ubad, who are working with Agil. So back on, well, not back on, we are actually here for the first time in Himbashlok, or maybe it isn't Himbashlok. It doesn't look, it looks like the Scarlet Castle that Agil has built up, but it might be something else. So Agil and Benam are going to switch their bodies and soul with, well, mostly bodies. And this is a very unnecessary thing, because switching bodies is definitely, in a way, it is complex. But why can't Agil just use, or just like be Benam and kidnap her or something? That would be more understandable than this very complex plot. So Benam is here and Baal Veer's magic is here as well. So they just need the Roop Badal Jadoo, which will switch Agil and Benam with each other, and they have to sit on these thrones. So it looks like that they have two separate thrones, but it actually is just one throne, and they just have to make sure that both of them are in the same frame, but not also, because the zoomed out, you can say, version shows us that they have the two thrones, but they could just be filmed separately, and one would be of Benam and the other would be of Agil. So Agil is sitting very, you can say, she is sitting like a queen, but she never mentioned herself to be queen at all. No one is here who really cares about royalty. And the whole succession crisis that happened in the first episode, that was supposed to be a very bad succession crisis for Baal Veer as well, doesn't happen at all, because we see that both Baal Veer and everyone else in charge of Shashwan Lok does not care who is supposed to be the king. And of course, in episode 99, we see that Uttan is going for his journey of some sort, and he won't be back in Shashwan Lok for a time, so he is giving the responsibility to Baal Veer. So does Baal Veer become king now? Because they just have given up everything, and we almost saw Baal Veer becoming king, but that wouldn't have changed at all. So this show is definitely an ultimate disappointment for all the Baal Veer fans, because we just got the worst out of it, and we just have to, you can say, wait and see how this all goes. This is the 99th episode. We are really excited about, if we could be, we would have been excited about the 100th episode, but that won't be, well, very close. So the magic is ultimately working, and it's the throne is of no use here. So we have no idea what it is for, and it is actually very glowy, and this definitely could be a nod at when Shashmag, well, not Shashmag, it was Mahadishi who was switched, and then it was actually Ukurja who took Benam's place. So that as well, and the nod at, or the direct influence of Baal Veer season 1, where we have already talked about when our characters switched bodies and soul with each other. So Benam is successfully switched with Agil, and now Agil is inside Benam's body and Benam is inside Agil's body. So that is, well, very interesting, and it can be said to be a double-edged sword, because this very thing can be used against Agil, but they are just too slow to make it happen. And of course, Baal Veer says that if he wanted, he could have killed Agil, but then also he doesn't want to kill Agil in an instant, and so does Agil herself. So Benam is now, well, she is really good as an evil person, but we love her as a very loving person. We are talking about Sharmili Raj. Sharmili Raj has done evil roles of her same character in all Baal Veer shows. When Balpari became evil, when her Jeevan Shakti Tara was dipped in black magic, she became evil in season 1. We saw Balpari become evil in Baal Veer Returns when she was actually thrown in that evil river water. So that is when she became Kalpari. So that was interesting. And now we see that it isn't actually her, but then she is Sharmili Raj, and she is this person, this character who is being evil and saying evil dialogue. So this could be something that we suggest would be used as a nod or a medium of joining the 3 shows, but we can't really say that. The only thing that is actually working to be the, you can say, the connector of the 3 shows would be Toba Toba and Baal Veer, and that's it. So we see that Benam, who is Agil, of course, is now promising to herself that she is going to kill Baal Veer. And then we see that Baal Veer finally arrives after so long to her mother's place. And of course, even Baal Veer can't enter this, we can say, this aura or this shield. So Baal Veer has to work through it. And we see that Baal Veer will definitely have to do something in order to maintain the quality of Benam's you can say residence as well, because he can't just barge in. So Baal Veer tries to overthrow and overcome Utan's magic by using his own magic, and we see that Agil, who is in Benam's body, is sneaking up on Baal Veer with a dagger, which means that she could have just killed Baal Veer here, which she says, but then she doesn't, because she wants to go with the long way of killing Baal Veer, which is just unbelievable. We know that this show is just, none of this show will actually care about realism at all.
Subscribe our channel and watch these Baal Veer episodes only on Magic World, where new Baal Veer episodes are daily uploaded with new ideas. Only for the true Baal Veer fans who want to experience the wonders of Baal Veer that are brought to you by Magic World. Take care of yourself and be happy.